So 2023 is drawing to a close, and right here we have in front of us 5 of the most innovative multi-tools released this year. I'd like to get your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with my list? Let's go ahead and get started with the Nextool Gemini, and I have to say this is really cool with this cordless 4mm driver. And then you open it up. You've got the replaceable wire cutters. You've got a very nice tool with actually one of my favorite tool sets from Nextool. So one of the things I'm not real thrilled about is that Nextool and some of these other multi-tool brands has gone all into these huge scissors, which I know a lot of people love. I'm not as much of a scissor guy. These scissors right here are definitely enough for me, but some people love those gigantic, monstrous shears. And so this is more my tool set. I like the symmetry on this tool. I find it pretty neat. And I would have actually preferred probably a ratcheting 1/4" bit driver, but we have this cordless 4mm driver, and it's very cool for those in the electronics field dealing with micro screws. Since I don't do that, this tool isn't as much for me, but I still like it. And I'm a huge fan of the innovation and the cool factor, something different. Now, the next one on the list, this comes in around $45. The next one on the list also comes in at $45, but at times it is a lot cheaper, maybe $36 or so, the DL30. Now, I've done so many videos on this because this is just a fantastic multi-tool. I think one of the best deals on the market today. You have your knife, you've got your scissors. I added the pocket clip on my own. You've got your serrated blade, and then you have the T-shank adapter, which is so cool. And then what makes this definitely worth the price is the 1/4" bit driver, which I use. When I use this tool, I use that all the time. And then a really good inner tool set. Replaceable wire cutters as well, and crimpers here at the bottom. So just a fantastic tool set for $45. What really sets this apart is the T-shank adapter. This is something very new. Usually only Leatherman and Gerber has had that in the past. Obviously some people will complain, well, they copied it, but it is a little bit different. And then the 1/4" bit driver. I've wanted Leatherman to do this forever, and finally the Daicamping DL30 did it, and I finally have a much better work tool for my needs. Now the next tool is sort of bittersweet because I love this tool right here. Now this is the SwissTech 30-in-1, and unfortunately it was a limited run of 200 units, and now I have word that this week the last couple units will be on AliExpress. I didn't see any yet, but they will be releasing the last of the 200 run, and then it sounds like it may be done for good and you will not be able to get this anymore. So I asked them, will you make it again? And it was a very iffy maybe, so we'll see. But this was one of my favorites because it had this wire stripper tool. In the multi-tool industry, they have, I don't want to say neglected the electricians because obviously if enough people bought them, they would make wire strippers for multi-tools, but it is definitely a field you don't see very much. And so because I need that in the job sometimes, this is fantastic. I've used this for work. But now since it's discontinued, it makes me a little leery to use it. Well, I've got the 1/4" bit driver, and then actually you pop this up like this, then you can fold it in like so. Then you've got the serrated blade, you have got the file, you've got the knife, and you also have the saw as well. Then on the inside, you saw 1/4" bit on the one side. You've got a special electrician's blade right here, the cable cutting blade. You have got this cable tie cutter or safety belt cutter, this small screwdriver, and the scissors. Huge fan of this. The makers or the producers of this say there's still some bugs on it, but I really love mine the way it is. And I don't know, I might buy another one if I can get my hands on one because huge fan. All right, now the multi-tool that everyone thought would break Leatherman is here, the GOAT multi-tool. And I have to say, I am a fan of this. I really am. I love these brass scales. I've gotten all into the brass, and I have a brass flashlight, brass pin on its way, all kinds of brass things because of this. And you have the spring-load pliers, you have the replaceable wire cutters, you've got the pocket clip, and you've got the outside opening tools. You have the 1/4 inch bit driver, which I love, the scissors and the knife, which are all really good as well. And then on this side, you've got the Hobbycraft blade, which I use a lot. You've got the saw, and then these inner tools, I really haven't used these much at all, but they are there if you need them, the awl and the driver. I have used that because it takes apart your entire multi-tool. And then you have this smaller screwdriver, larger screwdriver, and then some wrenches and so forth. So a very cool tool, very cool. I think the most negative aspect was that the wire cutters did not cut big wires or larger wires as some of these other multi-tools would, and so you have to actually grind some material out from behind it. Once I got that fixed, I feel a lot more confident carrying it, and big fan. So this comes in $120. These were about $45, even though you can get this at a better deal. This was around $50. This is around $120, so you can buy this now or at least reserve yours on the Goat Tool website. Then you can get different scales, titanium, and so forth. This came in black. So there are a whole bunch of options, and obviously these tools are modular. They've got levers, so you can take these tools off. You can buy new ones. You can print tools, which makes this fantastic. That's what makes this so innovative. So with this one, we have the cordless bit driver. With this one, we have the T-shank adapter and the 1/4 inch driver, and essentially a Leatherman Surge replica or copy to some extent. And then with this, we have the double side pliers. And then with the Goat, we have the modular system. So big fan of that since I've got my plier head fixed, and I've been carrying this pretty much all the time when I'm not at work. So really, really love that. All right, so now we come to the Leatherman Arc. And here we have Leatherman's upgraded design, their most expensive multi-tool that you can buy in a month or so. It's supposed to be available, well, next month, I believe. And here we go. It does come with a very nice pocket clip. It's essentially an upgraded Leatherman P4. It seems like Leatherman has been listening to a lot of you, and they've done a lot of things that you've wanted them to do. So you've got a great crimper. You've got what Leatherman claims is one of the toughest pliers in their multi-tool lineup. You've got the free technology, so it's very flippable, very, very fidgety, and so that's a pretty cool factor. And then these tools are just very easy to use, and I can't say enough how much I prefer the Leatherman Arcs tools to the P4. So I really prefer them a lot more. I like this micro driver. I like the awl. It does have the wire stripper notch. I'm not a huge fan of. It's got this bottle cap lifter and the screwdriver. And then on the other side, we have this Phillips screwdriver and the can opener. So really nice to have the bit driver back in place. And then obviously you can go ahead, grab your adapter, and then it fits in like so. And then you opens up a whole bunch of other options because you've got all those 1/4 inch capabilities. So really cool thing that Leatherman has done with the Arc. And then they have increased, they have the saw, they've added a file, full-size file, instead of the serrated blade. So this is a very aggressive file on the one side, and then a nice diamond file on the other. Got a nice pair of scissors, and then you have the MagnaCut knife blade, which most people are super excited about. So that's pretty cool right there, and nice to see on a Leatherman, but with that comes a much larger price tag. So for $229, well, you couldn't buy all these for this, but I guess pretty close, pretty close. So is it worth it? Well, again, I've done several videos on the Leatherman Arc, and it depends totally on you. If you're really into knives, and instead of carrying maybe a $400 knife, you could just carry your Leatherman Arc, then yeah, it's worth it. If you're a huge collector, then yeah, it's worth it. But if you just want a cheap EDC multi-tool, this might not be the one for you. But the innovation definitely comes from the MagnaCut and how Leatherman has changed their free technology with the bit driver, the better, smaller tools, and I think that's very innovative. And then it is cool that you can swap this pocket clip on whichever side you want, just to give you more options on this tool. All right, let me know in the comments below what you think, which is your favorite of all of these, and I'll see you in the next video.